Alan, Part 2. It has to be said, the fortunes were not smiling on Alan. Perhaps if he had looked further and seen the run-up to his demise a little clearer, he would have prevented further things from occurring. Of course, they weren't clear signs to see. The arrival of Mr. Pickle, for one, was not unusual. Alan anticipated a new pickle invention at least once a week, which only added to the mountain of despair in his life. The kit vac, a great part of Alan's demise, was hardly noticeable. It was up there with the worm-powered microwave and the automatic umbrella opener that caught fire as soon as it was turned on. No one could have seen its part to play in affairs that lunchtime. Within minutes of leaving Alan's office, his spirits unusually low, the grubby, greasy mess that was Mr. Pickle made his way to the A&H Loans Department reception, box of kittens under one arm, piping in the other hand. "Hello, Pa," the receptionist said, a blonde, slightly large woman wearing an extremely unflattering pink blouse. She had devised her own shortened way of saying Prentice's name, which he liked very much. "Hello, Shirley," Pickle replied in mournful tones. Shirley gave him a sympathetic look. "Tough day?" Another refusal. "Oh," Shirley replied, "don't worry. I love your ideas, I really do." "Honestly?" Shirley smiled. "Honestly. And between you and me," she leaned close towards him, "that Alan is a sad old loner anyway." Pickle smiled in a spiteful way, against his usual simplistic good nature. But hey, he'd had a bad day, though nowhere near as bad on the scale of what Alan would face. "Listen, Shirley," Pickle said, putting the kitten box on the reception desk where it meowed miserably. "Would I be able to put this stuff with the others? In this storeroom?" "Sure, I'll call Boris down now." "Boris?" "The new security guard. He's a dear, really. Not the brightest spark, but a great help." Pickle smiled as Shirley pushed a button under the desk. It wasn't long before heavy footsteps sounded on the stairs and a massive, almost square-headed man in a black suit appeared. "You called, yes?" he said in a thick Eastern European accent. "Yes, Boris. Mr. Pickle here would like to put his invention—" "Kit vac," Pickle cut in, unable to help himself. "His kit vac in the storeroom." Boris looked at her. "In storeroom? There be many storeroom in building. I do not know which one." "Mr. Pickle has a storeroom to himself," Shirley said. "It's on the 5th floor, 3rd door on the right." "Ah," Boris said, and with frying-pan-like hands he took the cardboard box of kittens and headed off upstairs. "To the storeroom," he said triumphantly, out of sight. Pickle looked at Shirley before heading off upstairs after Boris, the piping in his hands. While Boris and Pickle climbed the stairs with both the living and inanimate components of the Kit Vac 5000, Alan Humphreys was getting ready to go to lunch. He had filed the denial report for Prentice Pickles' loan attempt with a smug, triumphant smile upon his face, had grabbed his light jacket and headed out of the door. "Off for lunch, Shirley," he said, not looking at her as he passed the reception desk. Shirley said nothing, equally as unfriendly to her boss. Alan walked out the front entrance, smiling. He enjoyed this mutual hatred. "This is storeroom, yes?" "That's the one," Pickle replied, out of breath. It had been easy for Boris to climb the stairs. He had legs like tree trunks and a stride that spanned 4 steps. Pickle was the opposite, short and skinny, not built for any quick ascents. "Very well," Boris said, opening the windowless door. However, his piggy eyes widened quickly as a large metal box came crashing out at his feet. "What is this?" he asked, lifting up the box. Pickle took it up him quickly, which caused Boris to smile. Pickle noticed with slight repulsion that half of the Eastern European's man consisted of gold. "It's another one of my inventions," Pickle said, stepping into the room. "It was put in the wrong place, that's why it fell off." The storeroom, affectionately called Pickle's room by the company, minus Alan, who refused to mention it at all, had been provided for Prentice Pickles' use by the company board. Pickle had argued that the company could change their mind at any time about financing Pickle's inventions, and therefore they must be in easy reach should the need arise for anyone to consider them. Since Pickle literally refused to get off the board's conference table, the decision was quickly made, and Pickle got his storeroom. That was my attempt at a pretty awful, maybe, Eastern European accent. Anyway,